All right, ready? All right, I think we got all of our technical hurdles overcome here. Appreciate everybody coming today. We're going to spend a little time talking about Odoo automation and some of the things that QOC is working with some of our customers. Important point here is we don't start with projects automating everything. This is part of the journey, right? A lot of our Odoo projects that we do with our customers, we're implementing Odoo first, we're getting the business stabilized, and then we're looking for ways to help them automate their journey, right? And so what I want to show here and talk today about is some of the things that Odoo is capable of doing and why Odoo is a great platform for automating your shop floor. So first thing I want to talk about is this Industry 4.0 is overused. It's been around for 10 years. Everybody's been touting how it's going to be great, it's going to be done, and very few people in the mid-market is doing it today because it's too expensive. It's not available to us, right? And what I want to propose in this conversation today is with QOC and with Odoo, we're able to offer these services at a fair price, and we can enable people to actually, it's actually available to people, which is really fun and really cool to do. So we really appreciate NAF coming today, one of our partners, and bringing some of the robots and experience and equipment. I'm going to talk a little bit about why and what are some of the things that we're doing, and then we're going to go through some of the case studies. I'm going to have them kind of explain some of the things that they're working on. Sound good? Great. Awesome. So key components of Industry 4.0 everybody's been talking about is IoT, right? It's AI, machine learning, big data, analytics, all these buzzwords in the industry, right? This is what everybody wants to get to. The reality is, IoT is a node. Big data is Odoo, right? All of these pieces that we're talking about here are readily available to you today, that you don't have to go out and buy another piece of technology. It's something that QOC and Odoo has already developed, and we're able to provide to our customers, right? And it's provided in a flexible, cost-effective, and innovative way, right? So the best example of this I can share right now is we have a customer up in Minnesota, they're not here with us today, who runs a plastic extrusion line, right? They do great work, but part of their concern was they didn't understand what are all the parameters going on in their facility. And so we put a node on each one of their lines where we started collecting temperature, line speed, all of the data that kind of is rich to say, how are my parts actually created? How are my work centers actually functioning, right? And we've been collecting, John, how long have we been collecting that data?
December 6th.
December 6th of last year?
Yep.
We're starting to gather a rich amount of data around how does it actually work, right? And we even gave them a button on each of the lines so they can push when parts are being made that are good. Right, so they have a cross-reference point to say, today I'm making good parts, and this is when the data is. And so, again, readily available to you through the node. I'm not going to go through each of these. I can share this out, but there's many reasons why I wanted to propose here why Odoo is a good platform for this. From its ability to be customized, its flexibility, it's cost-effective. Right, we're seeing right now we're able to go into manufacturers and replace their traditional ERP for less than the maintenance of what they're currently paying, right? So it's very cost effective. It's innovative. Odoo 18 comes out when? I'm looking at Odoo. When's it come out?
October.
October.
Released for download and upgrade in February.
In February. Okay, so every year there's a major release of Odoo that's got new functionality, right? We don't recommend customers jump every year to a new release, but what we're finding is there's new capabilities that Odoo is releasing every year that helps organizations drive new efficiencies, automation within their facility. So that's the kind of technology that you want to be into. It's also scalable. We've done implementations with a company with 1 user. We've also done implementation with 1,000 users, right? It scales. It allows us to scale up. It also allows us to scale. As we start capturing this data at a granular level, it becomes a pretty good pile of data. but we're able to scale to support that in our journey. So where are we seeing this automation play out in facilities? We're really seeing four main areas. The one I've been kind of talking about, manufacturing. We're seeing opportunities from streamlining, labor reporting, job management, production from a manufacturing perspective. We're also seeing maintenance. Like Neff was talking to me earlier about how we can track equipment and monitor equipment to see and predict when are there going to be outages, etc. We see an opportunity where the node over there. Quality management, kind of self-explanatory, but ways that we can capture quality data without having to have input. The whole goal is we want to streamline. We want the people on the shop floor to be doing their work and not over there standing at the computer for 10 minutes trying to figure out how to enter the data they just collected. We want to streamline that process there. And then inventory management. How do we drive accuracy? How do we make inventory available to us? And some of these things are here to show that. So let's go through some of the use cases. So I'm going to have Jonathan come up first. He's going to demo and show a little bit about the node and how you can create an automation. Today we're going to keep it very simple, but no, we can go pretty complex with that. So Jonathan?
All right. So the best place to start is kind of like a use case example. So we have a customer that actually weighs containers of material, and then they go through and record it multiple times, and it can be hassle. It's a foundry. So it's kind of not a fun environment to be in. So one of the things that we have, like we were gonna last minute kind of do here, but so this is actually directly hooked up into this node, and the things that they do creates a byproduct, and that's weight they need to actually record. So, you want to stand on that?
You want me to show that weight to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's kind of hard to see right now, but his weight is actually being directly recorded into this real time, and they can just roll it on and be like, all right, there's our weight, confirm our weight. It's kind of hard to see, so I do apologize. This is a job that is currently not running just yet. Let's get this up and running. It's currently actively running. We have it hooked up to this laser system over here. They could roll that thing on, right? And have actually hook the lasers up to that doorway. Like, all right, we rolled through one quantity here, records that one quantity. Then we can actually set it up. Didn't write my script quite correctly. We met our one quantity. All right, let's go ahead, automatically close that job, closes the screen, and they just go on to the next one. Open this one up, let's start recording this quantity. Started our timer, information is now just getting recorded into this. All right, let's record our byproduct for this next one. Go on there, same process. Roll it on here, click record, run it through the laser. Let's just keep going through that process. So that's one of the cool things about this.
Yeah, it's not to interrupt you, but so in the simple world, what we're getting rid of that piece of paper. We're getting rid of the piece of paper that somebody puts by the scale so that when they put it on there, they weigh it, they write it down, they turn it into somebody, they enter all that data into the system, right? We want to eliminate those things, improve accuracy, and just drive that efficiency through the process. Okay. Anything else that you wanted to go through on the node?
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to go through was actually the MES system. So we have this version of the node over here, which you can directly hook up into machinery, recording analog digital systems. We actually have this one right here that is actually hooked up to a I/O link. If anyone's interested, it's actually sitting in the other room that's actually constantly recording temperature. And we have that set up where whichever work center you're currently on and the job you're on, it will every 5 minutes take a snapshot and then send that into Odoo. So you can track, like, hey, in this smeltery, for example, I know Neff has a humidity sensor. So this customer records everything. And so like, all right, our humidity and temperature currently in that boundary is XYZ. We had an oddly bad batch of material. Let's tie that to this job, this work order, and track all of this and see what was going on, how far it was off. Be able to keep your humidity, your temperatures into a point where it is constantly in the best parameters. And then this is one of the cool ones here. Boot it back up. So this is, for example, an Android tablet, just a cheap old Samsung tablet. And we actually have this one is hooked up. So it's the exact same screens that you'll see over here. So let me select my work center, right? Pardon, I'm not good at doing this stuff on the fly. Not good at doing this on the fly.
You got this, Jim.
I know the pressure.
You got it.
The pressure. All right, select that. All right, here we go. So this one's actually hooked up to an instance of Odoo 16. As you can see here, this screen is exactly the same as this screen right over here. This one's actually hooked up to an instance of Odoo 17. And this one's actually also compatible with Odoo 15. So then, see what I'm getting here is that this doesn't change, though the ERP may change in functionality. There may be small tweaks with different version releases. The idea is that your person on the shop floor, process stays the same for them. So you could have those 50, 100 employees that you don't want to retrain, but you still want to get advantage of some of those cool features that's released every year in different versions of Odoo. So this allows you to save that time and that cost through that ability right there. So.
Awesome. Okay. Brad, you want to come talk to us about the mirror and the UR and what you guys are offering there?
Sure. So we're with Neff Automation. We're at our core business an industrial automation distributor. So we talk about factory automation, we talk about automating processes. Did you go back to that slide that had the four modules? Right there. So we look at, when I saw this pop up, this is exactly what we're working with our customers. Manufacturing, how are we addressing, there's three things when we meet with the customer, we're looking to address kind of possibly three issues. Customers' problems they have with labor, whether it's lack of labor, uneducated labor, keeping labor, retaining labor. Quality, what is, are the customers making a quality product? Is a quality product coming off their line? How can we help them improve that process or at least inspect and make sure that a quality product is being done? And then cost savings, right? I mean, despite the fact that you can go anywhere today and you haven't paid less, you've always paid more. You can always pay more, but you're never going to pay less, whatever. But customers still need to increase their profitability. So how can we help them? How can we help them increase their profitability? So we have industrial automation components to help customers address this. Servo motion, robotics, whether it's 6-axis or AMRs, pneumatic automation, servo electrical automation. Then from an inspection standpoint, vision systems, barcode readers, from tracking inventory management, barcode reading, RFID. We have all those components. And within, we work with machine builders, we work within our own group, we work with end customers who have their machine to build a center, a system to look at a particular process and automate it. As Paul mentioned, Industry 4.0 and IoT is, all right, that's fine within its own little self-contained unit, right? How do we get that information back up to the bigger system, up to the ERP system, back down to the people that care, that are going to look at that data on a daily basis and know that something is not working right or whatever. So Paul and I have been talking, been to some of our shows. They've actually got a demo robot, a UR robot. And so what we're looking to do is how can we work with QOC and how can QOC use Odoo to streamline that process? Again, we've talked about eliminating pieces of paper, right? So instead of a work order being printed out and going out to the shop floor, and now the operator looks at it, he takes apart the machine. Now we can take that, instead of that piece of paper right from the ERP system, send a signal to the UR robot to start building something. Send a signal to the mirror robot to go take material. I'm empty at this stage. Give me raw materials and bring it over. So I think you guys want to kind of show. I think what we have here is we're going to trigger an action.
Odoo is actually going to bring this over, and then we're going to trigger with the node this robot loaded. I'll just send it out a little ride.
So John, how are you starting this action here?
This is a button that we have programmed into Odoo itself in the job.
So Odoo told the mirror robot to move.
in that process there, that can actually do labor from the node and be shown over here. So that could be an action that says we just produced one part, and then they'll drive off, whoever will come back for us when we put it back. It just depends on how you want to program yourself.
Right now, it's on a delay, but it could be triggered, a sensor on the cart that says right now we have a part that are ready to go. It doesn't have to be. There's ways, to automate those processes. And make it
There's almost endless possibilities,
right.
right? Today's about just kind of showing that this is not, like, we can connect to these things, they're possible, and then working with everybody to see what, does it make sense for you? How would that work? What the cost would be, et cetera.
The other part of this, I think it was case study number 3 that we referred to regarding BALF. So part of that Industry 4.0 and IoT, BALF is a particular sensor connectivity product line. There's a lot of different manufacturers on the BALF that we represent. They're doing things to collect more and more and more and more information. The key is what do you do with that information? Right now, it goes into a CSV file and sits on somebody's desk, and he has time to look at it. Maybe he looks through it, or if there's a quality issue, okay, they have this CSV file that they can look and see, oh yeah, at this time on this day, there was an increase in temperature in something, so that's why I'm over that. BALF continues to improve their product lines within their sensors. Jonathan mentioned the condition monitoring sensor. We have 2 of them up here. That one measure, a couple different options: vibration, temperature, pressure, humidity. So different single points of monitoring what's going on. You can put it on let's say a cooling fan. If you're in a food environment, people have put them inside of electrical cabinets so that if the filter gets clogged, the pressure goes up. If the guys come through with their aggressive wash down hoses and they get water in there, obviously the humidity within the cabinet goes up. It gets faults. But again, all that data, this stuff is giving you data as fast as you want it into a CSV file. What do you do with it? Again, there's the communication. That's how we can do the conduit through Odoo to set thresholds and say, okay, here's what my normal vibration is on this fan. As soon as it hits this threshold, I better go take a look at it. It's going to signal something to the folks in Odoo saying, hey, before something does go bad, you better go take a look at this. Now you can have a planned maintenance event versus it breaks, and now you got to fix it. Now production's down. You're not making pieces, parts. You're not making product, which costs you money. Or on the other side, sometimes maintenance people get into a mode where they just say, okay, every 6 months we're going to change out this bearing. Well, what if that bearing actually lasts a year? Now you've saved downtime, you've saved material costs, you've saved things, because now you're actually deciding when you want to fix it versus just fixing it whenever, or when it breaks, which is worse. So all the information that, our products, all the different offerings that we have, the key is what do you do with it? And a lot of customers don't know. They don't know what to do with it. They don't know how to get it from an Ethernet port or from a REST API or whatever into a system that's usable. That's where we work. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Pat. I just want to pause there. Questions? First of all, thank you. Questions? Let's just a moment because we kind of demoed something. Can you talk of mind, Vince?
Yeah, so when you talk about a node, how do you define a node?
So a node is this device, right? If I could pick one up that wasn't connected, it's this device that QOC has made the node, right? And the reason we made the node was so that we could connect to switches, we could connect to devices, and also connect to Odoo and make that a very smooth, easy transition.
So it's connecting some sort of sensor to the
Yep.
box. To the
All of these sensors are plugged into the back of the node, and then all that data is already fully integrated into Odoo. So like the laser beam here, I could put this on a conveyor belt, and now I can count boxes as they're going on a truck, and I'm gonna update real time in Odoo for that work order, how many you have on that truck, or how many you made in that shift or whatever. And what we're seeing is when you add that time dimension to production, we understand then where are the gaps, right? What's causing it? We saw one made at 7, 8 a.m. and then we didn't see one made till 10. What happened there, right? So we can start to understand those things. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah, Grant.
In addition to collecting information, you're also able to send instructions.
Yes. Yes.
So that's
So this is a great example, like, was it this one, John? I hit it here. So I hit this monetary switch, which is connected to a node. The node told the robot to move. So the node can action air actuators. It can actuate whatever you want. Put kind of what it is. Like if it's whatever voltage we can get to it, we can actuate it. Good question. Yeah.
So for packaging purposes, one of the issues sometimes customers come into is telling Odoo all of the different box sizes or crates or things that things could go into.
Yeah.
And then for Odoo to know how to optimize the space within that package. If 2 different orders come in from the same person, to know there's gonna be 4 items, not 2, can I optimize and send 1 box if I've got a big enough box?
Correct.
Is it possible for this system to scan the box or know the box and say, oh, because of this size and the dimensions of possibly the products, this is how I can arrange this to make the most out of it?
Yeah, so full transparency, the optimization for like what we're gonna put in a pack, we would do that inside of it too.
Okay,
But with a node, you can do hands-free pick, pack, and ship.
okay.
Right,
So once
so
you
I could
program
have-
it, this is what's gonna go in these boxes.
So I could have a node, I wish we could bring it up on the screen here. I could have a node that has all of the items that we need to pack. I grab the first one's gonna open, it's gonna show me what to put in there. As I scan each one of them, it's gonna decrement off the list. I could foot pedal and say I'm done.
Mhm.
Put it in the box. I could even send it to a boxer. I could send whatever I want to over there and have it go. And then the next one's gonna stand up there, right? It's gonna be there and then the person can grab the next item. So we're trying to get to this. We talked about like not writing things down. We want things to be hands-free. We want people to drive efficiency in how they work.
Well, can I add that?
Yeah.
So I've seen other instances, not with the node, but this is something that could be set up where you might have something that's kind of pre-configured and it runs through a set of scanners and it identifies a volume of something. And then you can identify based on that volume, what's my smallest package size that could match that.
Yeah,
That's the way that you could kind of.
because matching packaging boxes to
Yeah,
products
if
is
you
a
can-
hard thing for customers
If
to
you
do.
know your dimensions,
Yeah.
then that's what you want.
Yeah.
There's a lot more being done with barcoding and RFID.
Yeah.
So barcodes identify box size, packages, sizes, all that information is stored someplace.
Yep.
And then you know what box is coming down, you know what packaging is coming down. And there's maybe some, the RFID is getting big too.
But I like how you said it though before, Brad. You're providing all of the tools, if you will, right? We're providing the system and the infrastructure to support what you're doing. An RFID reader does you no good if you don't have an inventory management
Exactly.
system, right?
Exactly.
In some ways, I remember walking around FabTech 5 years ago and asking everybody that had one of these robots, what do you do with the data? They're like, oh yeah, I have it, it's on my phone. I'm like, well, what happens if I have 15 or 20 of these? They're like, well, I don't know, right? Now we have all of that data back into the ERP system. So when we have a quality problem, I can go pull up the system and say, okay, what were all the parameters that part was ran in the system? Like that in itself saves so much time and drives a better value for your customers. Other questions, John?
Yeah, so one of the exciting things I learned about the node as we've been developing and learning it is the life cycle compared to building a control system that you have to run conduits and everything, run wires through it to connect things. The node can now talk to things wirelessly. So you've saved the engineering time to design the conduit system, the contractor time to lay the conduits, the contractor time to pull the wires through. You get where I'm going now. This can be wireless communication, which saves a lot of time. In addition to that, the control panels that I used to build prior to working here at QOC, it would take something like 3.5 months to design it, 4 to 5 months to build it, another month to test it, then you gotta ship it, install it. I mean, we can put together one of those things in about 3 days. Then you put it in a FedEx box and it's in Washington or Florida or wherever, it doesn't matter. It's rapidly deployed, rapidly installed. which means saving time for you from not only from an installation standpoint, but now you're up and running earlier, and you're making money. So, a lot of advantages there.
Good point, John. I've just got a couple other slides here, just like, I just want to be very transparent, like some of the challenges they're doing, right? Like, there's complex things. When you start doing all these automations, it can get complex, right? So having a team like the folks that we have to kind of help break those problems apart in driving that efficiency and the types of tools they have now and the advancements. I mean, Brad, I'm just looking at you. Since we started our conversations, all the new technology that's come out, it's getting better every day. It's going to get even more better. So future prospects. I think this is a really good one. We're not done. If I'm in full transparency, we're right now, 99% of our work that we do is ERP implementations, right? But this is something that we know our customers need, and this is something that we're going to continue to drive for because we feel like the industry needs it, right? There are other things that we're working on, right? AI and machine learning. We don't have a demo for you today, but we've connected an AI platform on top of Odoo so that you can just ask it, just like you ask ChatGPT a question, you can ask Odoo a question and say, how is my work center working today? Or how many sales orders do I have, right? Those types of things are getting better. AI depends on data, right? When we have a node and a device on the shop floor collecting all this data, the more rich data that we have from the shop floor, the more impactful AI is going to be around helping organizations drive efficiencies in what they're doing. So I know some of this is out 5 years, but this is where we're going, right? And we're going to help lead that path, but we've got to be able to collect the data on the side. And advanced robotics, like to what I just said earlier, everything is getting better, right? Everything is getting better, and as we keep adopting that, we're going to be able to help you drive efficiencies there. So I guess I would conclude with Odoo's been a great partner. We love Odoo. We love doing Odoo implementations because of the value that we can provide to our customers. But we also love it because it provides a way for us to drive efficiencies in the shop floor through automation. Right? That's one of the big keys for it. So I guess that's all we really have. Any questions that you guys have for us? Any additional questions? I'd just say we're done now. We're gonna take like a 10-15 minute break. Grant and our I think Carrie and Travis potentially are gonna be doing a deep dive manufacturing demo. I don't know if you want to do it here or in the other room.
It's 3 o'clock, I think, in the boardroom.
In the boardroom.
We'll have enough space for that. Yeah.
All right. Thanks for your time. Appreciate everybody.
All right.
Nice job. That was awesome.
Actually,